Hi, Fraser.
Hi.
What are we doing today?
We are predicting the Booker 2022 long list somewhat, because we have maybe half of the list each. Together, we make a whole list.
Plus 3.
Plus 3, yeah. So, yeah. But
so you don't know what that means in Booker talk. So Booker's long list is 12 or 13 books, but the 13 is the Booker's dozen. I think. Do they always do 13? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. But I know the Booker's dozen is like 13 books. So I think you can get anywhere between 12 and 13 usually. And yeah, I think we have 16 books to talk about.
Yes, we do. And these are books that if the judges had good taste would be on the list.
Well, Fraser's read his. I can't quite speak to mine. I just used my library skills to generate a list and then picked from there. So
listen, we're influencers, we're tastemakers.
No, we're not. we're two millennials, two nerds talking about books. Like, that's what we are.
Whoa, way to be diminutive.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. I'll just grab the one that is closest to me that I finished last night. Pure Color.
Oh,
Sheila Heti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is this making your list?
It is a strange book that I actually didn't enjoy reading, but but it's like
I felt like that was a plot twist.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa.
For most people, this book is working quite well for them. And it does do what it's doing. I just don't really like what it's doing, basically. Okay. It's a folkloric, abstractive sort of tale in which the narrator is imparting some sort of like wisdom to somebody that we can't see, and it's distilling all of these sort of life events as well as abstractions about like love, about like a whole bunch of different stuff.
Sounds like a whole load of advice. Like a lot of advice in there.
Yeah. Okay. It's intersectional with sort of midnight library, self-helpy stuff through like it's almost like a parable almost, but it's very weird, and it's got queer characters, and I guess Sheila Heti is Canadian, so just I stand with her anyway.
Oh no, is this a theme?
No.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. My first book, which I'm going to have to, I'm gonna save the book that I've read, the one book that I've read on this predictions list for last. But it shouldn't be a surprise to most, if not all. But my first book is Companion's Piece by Ali Smith. Ali Smith is what I seem to think of as like a Booker darling. She's been longlisted and shortlisted a lot and never won. And I know that this is following her seasonal quartet. I'm assuming it's going to be fairly contemporary alongside sort of all of her other writings. And it was really well reviewed. So I don't know. We'll see. Nice. So yeah. Have you read any Ali Smith?
No, actually.
Okay, I have Hotel World and I've wanted to read it, but I haven't read her yet either. So we'll see.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next book is something that may or may not qualify, but I think does. The High House.
Okay.
Jessie Greengrass. This is
okay. So why would this not qualify possibly?
So technically, the hardcover here. Well, this is the American version anyway, because that's where I'm at. But the OG one technically is in the previous Booker season, but the paperback version is this season. And yeah,
I don't think it qualifies.
Well, it depends on when they submitted it, because if they didn't submit it last season, then they're still open with this one, because I think they're open to submitting it anytime the any version is published in the UK between the dates.
Any version. I don't know.
No, it has to be
so.
the original.
I think it has to be the original publication date, only because otherwise the book would be open for multiple years and you're just looking for its competitors of that year versus
well,
I think it doesn't qualify.
I don't know.
It's a good book. Tell me about it. What is it about? What is it about?
It's a climate change book that focuses on a very particular family, like a nuclear unit that's like been fractured essentially. And it's essentially like a character study of this very particular woman who ends up raising her sister's child because she goes away for climate conference stuff, like she's a scientist or something. We don't really learn about that, but it's about the dynamics of the family being replicated in the actual climate effects that we're seeing, and how we got to this problem, why our empathy doesn't extend beyond the people that we can see. A lot of stuff like that. And it's just yeah, it's fantastic. 5-star book.
Okay. my next book you read. And I actually think it would, and it was on the Women's Prize list and short list. Actually, it was long listed, and they made it on the short list, but it didn't win. But I think it might make it onto the Booker because it's from a powerhouse author that's been having a moment, and I think her moment might continue with the Booker, and that's Louise Erdrich's The Sentence. Yeah, and I think just like with the recognition she's been having, I think it wouldn't be unusual if you saw this on the list. And it's a quirky, it's a quirky story set in a bookstore in Minneapolis, and it's haunted. The bookstore is haunted,
and it's very timely too, because it's set in the pandemic, like actually set in the pandemic.
Right. So super contemporary almost. So yeah, anyways, that's why I put it on. It wouldn't surprise me if she ended up kind of showing up on the Booker after having won the Pulitzer last year, then on the Women's Prize, and then now. I just wouldn't be surprised if she just continued.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, I know. All right, it didn't make your list though.
No.
Right.
How did you know that? Can you see my notepad?
No.
Sure. Spyware.
Okay, what's your next?
Sure. One that actually qualifies for sure. Post-traumatic, which I finished also yesterday. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, I finished it. This is an exceptional book about a Black woman in New York who's negotiating like really granular interactions, like the things that you would expect. She is a lawyer who is dealing with mental health patients, advocating for them by, I don't know, day or whatever. And then you get alternate chapters in which she's dealing with family members, ruminating on friendships and stuff like that. But her lens is really aimed towards like breaking down every single interaction, and you can't tell, like, it's sort of got unhinged women, damaged women moving through the world vibes, but you can't really separate if she's acting appropriately to a situation or not, because she's got motivated thinking, and it's on display in the book so well. So it's really interesting. You're figuring out a lot of things about her, if she's acting well or not, because there's all these stereotypes about Black people and how they act as well. So it's just really, it's really well done, I thought. It's just very like of the moment, I think, as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it made it. Okay.
That's by Chantel V. Johnson that I saw.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I was like, and who is it by?
Yeah.
Okay. This title, my next title is one that you will recognize, because I've heard you've been chatting about it. And anyways, it's The Colony by Audrey Magee or Magee. Not really sure. Magee. And yeah, she's an Irish author. It's supposed to be, I guess, a historical fiction novel, but I don't know too much about it except for that the style is supposed to be really lyrical, really poetic. And then I saw it in real life in my library, and I did pick it up, and I looked at it, and I was like, I really kind of want to read this. But this was before we were gonna talk about the booker, and I just kind of put it back and walked away. But I did see it in person.
Yeah, and we won that cover contest with the UK for once.
Oh yeah, the cover for The Colony is gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
But not in the UK.
Yeah, the blurb is I know the UK cover is really not great. And we can finally we win for once.
Yes. A moral victory.
Yeah. But here's the one sentence synopsis about it. In 1979, as violence erupts all over Ireland, two outsiders travel to a small island off the west coast in search of their own answers, despite what it may cost the islanders.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, it looks good though. I'm excited.
Yeah, I have not heard like a single bad word against it so far. So
okay, well that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What's your next book?
Ho ho ho. Our Wives Under the Sea.
Oh, okay. Tell me about this book by Julia Armfield.
Yes. Yeah. You're much better at stating authors' names than me. Which is funny. No,
I can see it though, if I'm like holding up something, I'm not looking at it. So
well, I always forget to say it too, so you're doing right.
Okay. What's this about?
This is about a couple, a lesbian couple in the UK, one of which is a marine biologist, I'm pretty sure, and she goes on deep dives for a very long amount of time. One time her partner returns sort of changed, and it seems like a traumatic event or something. She's very like despondent, and then weird stuff starts happening where she constantly wants to be submerged in water. She doesn't really like speak to her partner about much stuff. She forgets to eat, and it becomes very like dark, surrealistic. And that is my jam. I like this a lot more than other people, but mostly because I interpreted almost all of it as like a metaphor for something else that's happening in the story, and very surrealistic, where other people took it very literally and was like, this don't make sense. Kind of thing. So
okay, all right, interesting. I haven't heard much about it. I think I've only heard you talk about it.
Yeah. Well, you got the good news then.
yeah. I know. My next pick is like, I feel like, well, it's like a forthcoming book, or maybe it just was released. It's supposed to be coming out in June 2022, and it's Geraldine Brooks, her new book, Horse. And so this is the blurb is a scientist from Australia and a Nigerian American art historian become connected by their shared interest in 19th century racehorse. And it has to do with like the history of the Black horseman and the critical success of those pieces.
That sounds interesting.
So, yeah. But it was well reviewed, and I know that Geraldine Brooks is sort of like a powerhouse writer and gets recognized, but I haven't yet met her on the page, but she's got a solid body of work and a fan base. So I'm wondering.
Another importante book to be listed.
Yeah. I'm just like, do I recognize that name? Yes, I'm doing that one.
Well, I mean, you're probably not going to be wrong. So based on what I've seen of past listings, it's not like
I haven't done that well. I'm hoping this will be our win.
Well, I mean,
so we'll see.
Looking at past ones though, there's very few books where I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of that person before.
Oh, true. Yeah. Except for I felt like the Women's Prize really kind of threw us a curveball.
Yeah.
With some.
Not the book. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. We're waiting for their curveball. We're ready for it if you're.
Yeah. If you're ready, you'll pick some of our books. Because just need to get on our level.
Exactly. I know. I hear you. Okay, so what's your next book?
Boom.
Oh, really? Oh, I've heard about this book. Tell me about this book. I'm excited.
Tell
Me I'm Worth It by I honestly cannot.
Alison Rumfitt.
Okay. I was like, I really can't see that one.
Sorry. So this is a haunted house story that's done from a queer lens, unabashedly queer. Every character is queer in it, I believe. That sounds right. Anyway, the two main characters are. It is very dark, and it's very triggering. I think there's like some CWs at the very beginning of the book where it's like, this is unabashedly about like it's political imperialism and like homophobia and transphobia and stuff. So yeah, it's heavy book. So just know that before you go into it.
Okay, okay.
It's about two best friends that go into a house and they emerge both traumatized and with physical wounds on their body, each telling a different story about what has happened to them that implicates the other person having done it to them as well. Yeah. And then
wow.
The structure is that we kind of are in their heads for a little bit, and then it regresses some parts into what actually happened, like flashbacks basically. And they're trying to decide if they're going to go back to the house for some reason, and you don't know why.
Okay. Interesting. Yep. Sounds frightening.
Yeah. The one character is a trans person and the other character is a lesbian, are the two main characters. So it's a very queer book and excellent. I thought I think the prose styling is the weakest aspect of the book, but I think it does something really interesting with the fiction that it's doing, such that it could maybe make the list, like maybe it's like an outside chance. It's my outside chance, other than the book that doesn't qualify. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
It's okay. I have an alternate for that book that doesn't qualify anyway.
Okay. Well, my next book is Still Life by Sarah Winman. Have you read that one?
I just got that last week. Have not read it yet.
You haven't read it yet? Okay. So this is the one that Sarah Winman's mostly known for, Tin Man, which I heard was excellent by basically everybody. I still haven't read it yet. And then it's just this is just, I guess, a multi-family generational family saga. That's right. There it is.
Yeah.
And it says that it's supposed to cover four decades of art, love, war, flood, and the ghost of Ian Forster.
Oh, cool.
You have to tell me if you like it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I actually didn't even have it listed as a potential because I missed it, but I have it. So I'll definitely read it because it's a potential. I'll bump it up. I'll bump it up on the list and see where it's at.
Okay. Yeah, if you can tell, Fraser is doing a lot of reading for the booker.
Yeah.
I am not. But it's okay. I mean, I'm not doing any like pre-reading for the long list for the booker.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your next one?
I have become recently competitive, apparently. My next book is Chouette by Claire Oshetsky.
I can't see it. So I'm like
yeah, I can see you trying to look there. And this book is fantastic and it should win anyway.
I actually know the premise of this, so I'm like, go ahead. Yeah.
This is a book about a mother who gives birth to a child that we can discern as being like special needs in some way. I think it actually does list like the particular things that are going on, but I can't remember them. But anyway, she conflates that identity with that of a baby owl, hence the name. And there's a sort of surrealistic aspect in which, because it's solely from the mother's perspective, we think that she is raising an actual baby owl in a feral way, like she's actually raising it rather than like a normal toddler type situation. And the thing that's really interesting about this book is it implicates both parents. Like both parents are both good and bad at parenting the child in different ways, and I think both fail at very interesting ways as well. And then there's also the aspect of like, how feral is this child, and like, is it toxic parenting? My video, I named it feral surrealism.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I watched that review. Yeah, I liked it. Well, that's exciting.
Yes.
I mean, it is. It's one that I want to read. I'm just waiting for the right moment. maybe it's soon.
Yeah, like when it wins the Booker.
Yeah, like when it wins the Booker. Okay. Oh, my next one. Actually, we've read something by this author before, and it is Elif Bautman's Either Or. Which is going to be the book that follows Selene in the first book, her sophomore year. So it's going to be basically an auto-fiction, literary fiction, I'm sure sort of a clever, witty wordplay type book, but of a character that you and I have read before, going through her second year. And apparently she experiments with parties and alcohol and maybe even sex. And so I'm like, oh, Selene. So this character that we know that's sort of kind of shy and a bit maybe timid.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely interested in reading that at some point.
It was really well received among book critics as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, what's your next book?
The next one is What Storm, What Thunder by Myriam J.A. Chancy.
I just took that off my list.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it was quite good.
I didn't read it though, but I was like, I don't know what to say about it except for that it sounds cool.
It does sound cool, and it is cool.
Okay. Tell me about it.
I consumed this on audio last year, and it is a like polyphonic book about people involved in the earthquake in Haiti, and it just traces different strands, almost like short stories of people intricately connected. Sometimes at the onset you can't see how. For instance, there's like a cab driver in New York and you're like, how it does fit, but it does.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just really interesting because it targets international relief as well, like the ways in which they help and the ways that they don't help. First responders, lots of different takes on what happened. I thought it was really excellent.
That's cool. That's great. I just took it off. Isn't that written by a Canadian author or no?
Oh, was it?
I know.
It must be. No wonder it's good.
No wonder it's good. So wait, are we at our final book, or was that yours?
That's the final book, yeah.
Okay, so then mine is the actual one that I read.
Like we're both choosing the final books now, right?
Oh, am I?
Like I have one left and you have.
I have one left as well. Okay.
Sounds good.
My final book is Young Mungo by Douglas Stuart, which follows the character, which you and I read together with the Up to No Good book club. Anyways, it follows this character of young Mungo as he is dealing with a very dysfunctional family in poverty during his teenage years, I would say, or teenage period in his life. First love, buildings Roman. It's wonderful. It's so good. And I really hope this makes the list, like legit style. Like I would be kind of mad if it doesn't. So yeah, this is it.
I would be surprised if it didn't make it, right?
But then here we are going to be reacting, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be angry. Like Douglas Stuart was robbed. I'm going to be one of those people.
It's true. I'm scared. Yeah. Okay, so for me,
what's your last book?
Cold Enough for Snow by Jessica Au.
Okay.
It is a very slim little novel that's grown in my mind very positively since I've completed it.
Okay.
It's a very interior novel about it seems youngish woman, probably like 25-ish, I think, to maybe 30s. She goes on a trip to a museum with her mother. I think it seems like one of the only trips that they've ever taken. They go to a gallery, like a museum, and they separate. And as she's looking at the art, she's sort of going back into her past and unpacking certain elements of her story and elucidating things about her mother. it's very quick, it's very punchy, it's very like lyrical and poetic, and just like, yeah, a lot of subtle world building that happens in it. And I just really liked it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. That's exciting. So we have these are our predictions. This is what we want to see on the Booker, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We do.
The Booker long list will be announced on July 26th. So yeah, mark your calendars. We might have some updates depending on how things play out, I think. Yeah. All right. And you know, as always, we always want to know what y'all think. What books you think will make it. And yeah, I guess thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
And this has been fun.
It has.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go.
Okay. See you.
Bye.